each other. Love each other.
All-powerful God, filling all the universe and the smallest of your creatures. You embrace all life with tenderness. Oh yeah. Pour out the power of your love that we may protect life and beauty. Fill us with peace we may live as sisters and brothers. We thank you, whoa. We thank you, whoa. We thank you for being with us every day. Hey, hey. We thank you, whoa. We thank you, whoa. We thank you for being with us in every way. God of the poor, help us to rescue the lost and forgotten of this earth. So precious in your eyes, oh yeah. Bring healing to our lives and we'll protect the world from all this confusion. Touch the hearts of those who look only for gain at the expense of the earth. We thank you, whoa. We thank you, whoa. We thank you for being with us every day. Hey, hey. We thank you, whoa. We thank you, whoa. We thank you for being with us in every way. Teach us, oh God, to discover the worth of each and everything, to be filled with awe and contemplation, oh yeah. To see we are united with every little thing as we journey to your light. Encourage us, we pray, to work for justice, peace, love, and understanding. We thank you, whoa. We thank you, whoa. We thank you for being with us every day. Hey, hey. We thank you, whoa. We thank you, whoa. We thank you for being with us in every way. We thank you, whoa. We thank you, whoa. We thank you for being with us every day. Hey, hey. We thank you, whoa. We thank you, whoa. We thank you for being with us in every way.
We will have a facility again where we'll be meeting together continuously. Won't that be great? In the meantime, we're meeting together continuously in this manner because you and I are individualized expressions of the one life of God, which is everywhere present. And that's what we learn, and that's what we practice here, the science of mind principles, so that we have beautiful spiritual tools for everyday human experiences. How wonderful it is to be this beloved community where we walk together and we play together, we laugh together, sometimes cry together, but we're very much together in the heart and the mind of the infinite. And so here we are all about the business of awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. It's time we all woke up and helped our brothers and sisters awaken too, to the infinite possibilities that exist for us all. And we know that we have an opportunity to celebrate life every moment of every day, that we really are, as we've heard, the ones we've been waiting for. As we awaken, as we become more enlightened, there's a greater light that shines all over the planet. Wherever you happen to be geographically or along your spiritual path. You are so welcome here with us this morning, every Sunday, and every opportunity that we gather online or even in person, which we'll be doing a little more of in the next few weeks and months. And that's good news. We are all about utilizing these beautiful spiritual principles, reminding each other of who we truly are, the sons and daughters of the living God, the individualized manifestations of this one divine life. Isn't it wonderful that we understand that we are co-creators with the divine? And what we are here to do is to co-create a world that works for everyone, that works for all life. And it's a wonderful, joyful responsibility to do that. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad we're together. And we do have a very powerful statement that we love to speak together, and I would invite you to join me if you care to, because it's all about who we are and what we do. Are you ready? Living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. And now we're going to have an opening song. Oh, we love our music here. And this is very special in that it is our own Emily Zoll's Manoa School Choir. Let's hear I Am the Change. That was beautiful. Thank you. Wonderful. All right, now I wonder if you kids would like to gather round for a little while, just for a few short little minutes, because I want to be with you. Okay. I just returned late last night from California, and I noticed that there were some things that were different from one coast to another coast. Things changed, you know. Things are different from one place to another. That's the way it was designed to be. Everything outside that we see changes. It's supposed to. And where I was in the California desert. And the terrain is very different. The plant life is quite different. There's lovely, lovely hills and mountains and palm trees and sand. It was blowing around a little bit too. It tends to do that. And it was wonderful to come home last night, and here is our beautiful green Pennsylvania, and everything is even greener than it was when I left. The seasons change, of course. You and I change in many ways outwardly. But there's something that never, never changes, something that is always the same, and that's the presence of God, of course, everywhere present, within us, all around us. One thing that doesn't change is love. It's everywhere. You can't get outside of it. And even when I was in California this past week, I was also very, very aware of Reverend Mike's love and everyone else's love that I'm a part of, and the people there that I love. You can't get outside of it, you know. It goes coast to coast, and it goes even beyond that, all around the planet. That doesn't change. There's different ways to express it, of course. You know, the way we love our parents, and sometimes get a little annoyed with them because they want us to do stuff, right? But we love them underneath all of that. The way we love our friends, you know, maybe we punch their shoulders a little bit. That's another way we show love. Our grandparents, you know, little brothers and older sisters and all of that. There's different ways to express that. But what is true is that God is love, and that the presence of God, that is love, is within and all around us. You can't get outside of it. You can forget it sometimes, though. It never changes. It's always present, always ready for us to come back to. That last song, I hope you got to see that video. It was beautiful. It was a song that Emily Zoll wrote, and her kids choir sang it, and the video was beautiful of animals and nature, you know, all over the world. And it reminded me that when I was flying home last night, I was watching a movie called Jane. And it was about Jane Goodall. Remember about Jane Goodall? I think if you don't, it's a good idea to go and look her up, because she was the most and is the most amazing influence on change outside in the world by remaining steadfast to her principles. She was out in Africa by herself, and then ultimately with a little camera crew, when she was 26 years old, and found out that she loved living in the jungle, and that she loved being there with the apes, and that she loved studying all of the plants and the animals. It was a beautiful thing. And now, after that, when she came home after many years, and she never wanted to leave, she loved it there. But when she came home to England, she started traveling the world and speaking to people, children primarily, because you are this beautiful generation that is helping us make a change in the world. And she's influencing and motivating people all over the world. She started something called Roots and Shoots, and it's a way to love nature and to refurbish the planet, if you will, and care for the animals. And these children, everywhere she went, in every country, would greet her and sing with her. It was heartwarming. I would love to have you see it. But you and I are making these changes, and we make the changes in the world by remembering that which never changes, which is the presence of God, which is love within us and all around us. So good to be with you this morning. I'll see you soon. Okay. Scamper off. Do what you do on Sunday morning. Or stay with us. That's okay too. Bye for now. Oh, yes, let's have a meditation. Shall we have a meditation? Yes. All right, so let's take some deep, holy breaths. breathing in the life of spirit and breathing out any kind of concern or anxiety or false belief in separation from our source. And then take in another deep breath of spirit. And this time let that breath of spirit, which is love and peace and wisdom, move out into the room where you are, filling it with infinite new possibilities. For spirit is that which never changes. Spirit is that from which we came. Spirit is that which continuously restores and renews us, motivates us, reminds us who we truly are, the beloved in whom God is well pleased. So let that beautiful sacred breath now bring us, as a bridge would bring us, into our hearts. And here we find ourselves embraced by the holy presence of love and peace and that which is forever true. The presence of the divine, that beautiful spiritual embrace where we do remember, I am the beloved in whom God is well pleased. And in this sacred space, we rest. And we look out over the world. Yes, we see what we thought we would never see, and we see it with soft eyes, with the awareness that all of the conflict and all of the suffering, all of the misunderstanding, all of the divisiveness, all of it is changing. It must. It is the nature of conditions to change. And at the heart of us, and at the heart of everything that we are viewing, there is unconditional love. And so you and I are now inviting that unconditional love to come forth, to fill every corner of this planet, every heart and mind within humanity. Let's allow this beautiful divine love to flow out from our hearts, to fill the room that we are in. Let that love move out into our community and beyond, filling our nation, moving out over all the seas until it wraps around the world. Sacred love, everywhere present, healing, nurturing, awakening, uplifting. There is nothing to do but to let it flow. So in this sacred silence, let's come in and listen with our hearts to what the infinite love and wisdom is so willing to share with us now. Come into the silence now. And as that unconditional love continues to flow out from our hearts, feel it also returning to us as each of us becomes a recirculating fountain of love. How sweet, how beautiful it is to reside in this place, which is true, which is real, which is eternal. With gratitude, we take this precious presence into our morning now, knowing that all is well. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our beloved practitioner, Cheryl Macklin.
Good morning, everyone. It is so wonderful to be with you. I'd like to start today with two small quotes from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. The first from page 66. Creation means the giving of form to the substance of mind or spirit. Spirit being all and only, there is nothing for it to change into but itself. Therefore, it is the changeless within which must take place all change or manifestation of itself. The infinite of itself is formless, but within it are contained all the forms which give expression to its consciousness. And from page 68, whatever change must take place within this one. But this one must be changeless, for being one and only, it could not change into anything but itself. I state this treatment for myself and invite you to take it for yourselves. As Reverend Maxine reminded us, there is only God, only Spirit, expressing everywhere and in everyone and everything. This divine presence connects each and every one of us. This divine presence is within me. It is expressing as me, and it is expressing as our production team, Reverend Mike, Reverend Maxine, everyone listening. We are each one with the one. We are each the love and the peace and the joy of Spirit expressing. And this peace and this joy and this love expressed in our celebration today as we celebrate our connection as we celebrated it last week. This spiritual community and this celebration today are an expression and a wonderful celebration of the truth of who I am and we each are. And that truth is God, is love. I am grateful and I joyfully accept this and release my word to the law, knowing that the law only ever says yes, and it is acted upon and done, and so it is.
Take me with you, I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to see another part of me. Take me with you, I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to see another part of me. Take me with you, take me with you. I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change, let the winds of change shape and blow, shape and blow. Now I am willing to start a brand new chapter of my heart. me with you. I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to make a choice. This new path needs my voice. Take me with you, I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to let go. I surrender, and I know I am willing to let go. I surrender, and I know I surrender, and I know I surrender, and I know.
Lovely. Will you repeat with me, if you care to, our affirmation for the day? My heart is filled with gratitude in knowing Spirit desires to know greater livingness and love by means of me. I joyfully participate in co-creating a wonderful world. I have a treat for you. This past week, marked the 34th anniversary of our speaker's ministerial installation in Kennewick, Washington. His talk is important today because it helps us stir from limitations and awake to our power. So, speaking on the Changeless, it is my pleasure to present to you the Reverend Mike Gerdes.
Wow, thank you. Great introduction, wasn't it? It's really a thrill for me to be with you. It's always a thrill for me to be with my sweetie, Reverend Dr. Maxine. I hope everybody honored Earth Day. Some of you might be old enough to remember when the first Earth Day came around. I do. And I was thinking, you know, I looked it up and I found out that the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. And that's about the same age that the sun is. And I'm talking on today about the changeless, but even the sun and the Earth eventually are going to go poof. We've got about 5.6 billion years left, gang. So, you know, make plans. What I'm saying is there's no thing doesn't change. No thing doesn't change. So if you're faced with a circumstance or a situation right now, recognize this too shall change. This too shall pass. So when I'm talking about the changeless, what am I talking about? I'm talking about principle. You know, there's principles of mathematics, principles of science that are sometimes true and sometimes not true. There's principles about the natural laws. Mathematical laws are great. And there's this principle of being, which we call the science of mind. That's what the science of mind is this study of the principle of being, recognizing really who and what we really are. And as we learn to identify with really who and what we really are, all the outside minutia that keeps us down, that keeps us limited, that keeps us living in our fears are released. Now say with me, there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life, and that life is your life right now. Now that's the truth. When I say that, we're dealing from first cause, because we're dealing with first cause, which is basically God expressing itself, God knowing itself. And we understand that the qualities of God are life, abundant life, love, divine intelligence, power, peace, beauty, joy, and anything else great that you can think of. And when we recognize those qualities, when we declare those qualities, when we speak those qualities as being that which we seek to express, we're speaking from first cause. We're speaking from God knowing itself and revealing itself through our word. Am I saying you're God? Yeah. I'm saying that you're an aspect of God. You're an avenue of God expression, just like I am, just like everybody else is. So how come sometimes we are weak, alone, and afraid? How come we let the circumstances and situations hold us down? We teach that our outer experience is a direct relation to our inner experience. In other words, consciousness creates, and dominant thought prevails. So if consciousness creates and dominant thought prevails, how do we get in this mess in Ukraine? Am I responsible for that? That's kind of hard to take, you know. And how about those of us that have got some kind of disease? We've got some kind of diagnosis. How many of those of us have had problems with family or situations or economic problems or work problems? There's problems. What's my part in that? Well, sometimes it's the misuse of my intelligence, and sometimes it's the misuse of group intelligence. We call race mind basically race mind refers to the human race, the collective consciousness of humanity. And that collective consciousness of humanity we're a part of, which means that when we think rightly, we can affect that. And we do affect that. Which is why what we do besides making contributions, we just don't go around saying, oh, ain't it awful with the stuff that's going on in Ukraine, although I have to be true, I do so in that. I remember what the truth is. I remember the truth is there's one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, and it is expressing there right now. And I know that a greater good is coming forth by means of that right now. And I know that a greater love and expression of unity amongst all people are coming forth out of this experience. And what about health? We can do something about that. The problem is sometimes, we get hypnotized by that diagnosis. And we say, oh God, ain't it awful? We get hypnotized by the checkbook. Think we're on a limited income. We get hypnotized by the news and what we hear on the radio and what the kids are saying, what the relationships are saying, what our fears are saying, the fears that we're projecting into our future, the problems that we're focusing on. It's easy to get hypnotized by our problems. Now, part of our evolution tells us we need to move past the problem into a solution. We're never going to get into the solution with the same level of consciousness that got us into the problem. Do you get that? We have to think along a new line. Now, Dr. Ernest Holmes used to declare, there's a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. Well, there is. But we have to use it intelligently. If you keep on thinking what you've always thought, you're going to keep on getting what you always got. So if I'm thinking about my problem, and I'm thinking about, oh my God, ain't it awful, what am I going to get more of? What are you going to get more of? The problem. So we have to move from that. We have to move from that We call that a secondary cause. The problem is a secondary cause. We need to move from that, from the checkbook and the diagnosis and all that kind of stuff, to the truth of who we really are, and call forth that expression of divine life within us to express, to come forward. Wholeness, health, abundance, love, peace. We need to get honest. Sometimes we get disappointed that we do our spiritual mind treatment work and we don't have instantaneous results. And you give a treatment and the next day you wake up and you still got a checkbook that's limited and you say, oh my God, this ain't working. And so then we start projecting our fears again. We need to stop making excuses for not doing our work right. Now, we need to be kind to ourselves, because I understand that there's a difference between moving from one level of consciousness to another level of consciousness. Change your thinking and you change your life. But sometimes it takes us a while to make that process in changing our thought. See, there's not a process of healing, there's a process in healing, and that process is in changing our consciousness from one thing to another. And from changing our consciousness, from dwelling on the problem, the issues that manifest themselves as problems, to that which we know the truth really is like closing the door on one thought pattern and opening the door on another thought pattern. But from closing the door over here and opening the door over here, there's oftentimes what my friend Reverend Doug Craig refers to as hell in the hallway. And we can experience that hell in the hallway where we're right in that situation where we do our work, but we're still faced with that stuff. And the fears can come up. And if you're in that situation where the fears are coming up, or when you are, because there's going to be a time when they are, reach for the fire alarm in that hallway. And what's that fire alarm? It's reaching out for help to a spiritual mind practitioner or to a minister of this teaching. For them to know the truth for you. And do me a favor. If you really believe this works, if you do yourself a favor, if you really believe treatment works, and you reach out to a practitioner to really help, I want you to expect to do two things. If by the second treatment you're not experiencing a better experience, some kind of partial healing, at least somewhere on the road to recovery, get a different practitioner. And the other thing is, pay your practitioner. You can't expect to get something for nothing unless you don't expect that anything to be good. What value do you have on your health? What value do you have on your wholeness? What value do you have on your success? What value do you have on spiritual mind treatment and moving along spiritual lines? If you value it, you're going to pay for it. Now, that doesn't mean to say that any practitioner will deny a treatment for you if you come to them and you're broke. We will work with you. They will work with you to know, besides your healing, a healing of your consciousness of abundance. But if you value something, pay for it. If you really think it's significant, pay for it. We need to express life ever more fully and ever more joyfully, because that's the reason why we're here. And if we're not doing that, something's wrong. And we need to get honest with that. We need to get honest with ourselves. And not just say, everything's spiritual, perfect, and divine, when they're not. We need to get, I like the term GERF. We need to get really real, really fast. GERF. We need to get honest with ourselves. Associative writing is good for that. And then reminding ourselves really what the truth of our being really is. And then reminding ourselves what we're really thinking and what we're really saying to life and to ourselves. You see, that which is changeless is the principle upon which we can rely on. That power for good in the universe that's greater than we are, that we can use. It always says yes, according to our thoughts, according to our beliefs. It always says yes. So what do you want it to say yes to? Lack, limitation, or abundance and freedom? Now, I know one thing that was hard for me to accept in this teaching was not outlining how that good was going to come about. That was tough for me. When I became a minister, the president of my board, he was a wonderful man by the name of Al Huff. And he was up there in years, and this goes back, like I've been doing this for 34 years, actually 34 years plus. He was a mule skidder. I mean, a real live mule skidder. Wonderful man. And he came down with cancer. And I worked with him to know health and wholeness and healing. I worked hard, knowing health, wholeness, and healing for him. And I so wanted that health, wholeness, and healing to come up with be freedom from cancer. Well, Al jumped off the planet. And I came to realize that true life is eternal. And for him to realize the health and the wholeness that he needed to experience, he needed to leave this diseased body aside and move on. I've had loved ones in my family very, very close to me. Very close to me. Some of you know the stories. And I treated for health and wholeness for them, for peace, and joy, and freedom from addiction for them. And they jumped off the planet. I can't outline, you can't outline how that good necessarily is going to show up, because sometimes that good showing up looks like a tragedy. But out of that tragedy, if you look deeply enough, there is some good out of it. There is some good out of it. Look for the good in all things. And if you don't see it, you haven't looked good enough for the good. Keep on looking until you declare and know that something greater is coming forth from this. And then look for it. Experience it. Expect it to come forth. Gerdes said that if we regard the fulfillment of our purpose as contingent upon any circumstances, past, present, or future, we're not making use of first cause. We have descended to the level of secondary causation, which is the level of doubts, fears, and limitations, all of which we're impressing upon the universal subjective mind. And it manifests as hell. Don't live that way. Because if we remember that our primary purpose is to express God, to express life, and stand with that idea, that good comes forth for us. Try it. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on this teaching. Make sure to reach for the fire alarm when you need it. Reach out for help when you need it. Life is not a Lone Ranger affair. That's why there's so many of us. And don't just look on us as other people. Look on us as other flesh packets of God's Spirit. Because that's what we are. We're here to support one another, to love one another. And along that line, who have you told lately that you love them? Who have you reminded that you're there for them? Who have you reached out to that you know has been having a hard time and just talked to them? Just been an ear to them? When's the last time you were kind to yourself? One of the bad habits I used to have, and I can't say I'm still moving from that, is beating myself up, having regrets. I'm sure maybe one or two of you out there might have held on to a regret at times. One or two of you might have been beating yourself up at times. But there's a problem with that. As long as we hold on to a regret, we have a tendency to relive that situation and give energy to projecting that again into our lives. Do you want to repeat your past mistakes? No. And what that also means is that we're not experiencing the goodness that is here right now. Everything that happened to me before brought me to this point of now, to this moment right here and right now. Everything that happened, good, bad, and indifferent that happened, was required to bring me to this point of now, was required for you to bring to this point of now. Excuse me. And you say, well, what about the future? There's only now. There's only this moment. And in this moment, we can experience life, love, power, peace, beauty, and joy. In this moment right now. Well, what if in this moment, come back to this moment right here and right now. Right here, right now, there's life, love, power, peace, beauty, joy, and abundance right here and right now. And the next moment, the same thing. And the next moment, the same thing. Stay in this moment. And if we stay in this moment, we can stay in first cause. And that spirit within us can guide us and direct us. Call forth that spirit within us and guide us to guide us and direct us. So that every day we suit up and we show up to express that greater life. To do God's work for humanity. We've got a lot of work to do. But that work begins with us. Always begins with us. Instead of going around saying, oh God, ain't it awful, let's go around saying some good's going to come out of this. And then let's do our spiritual mind treatment. Let's do our work. And let's love one another. And that's all for me today. I love you all. And I'll give you back to Reverend Dr. Maxine.
Thank you, Reverend Mike. That was wonderful. Thanks for the inspiration. Yeah? All right. Whew. Now is the time of our offertory, and I'm so grateful to have an opportunity to share my abundance with this beloved center, because for me it is the closest point for my spiritual food. And it is a joy to take my gift in my hand. Some of you choose to give in so many wonderful ways, and it's showing you right there how this can be accomplished. And I'm just an old-fashioned girl, so I still like to put my check in the offertory bowl. We'll have that again one day. In the meantime, let's know that this is our opportunity to give from our hearts to the heart of God itself. There it is. And we know that it reminds us that every good gift that we give is given in love and given in joy and returned to us multiplied. So now I'm going to find the somewhere under Reverend Mike's notes. I have it. It's okay, I'll find it. Or if I don't, I'll tell you what. It's up there on the on your board. And so I'm just gonna get this paper out right here. Ha! Are we ready? Okay. Let's begin. I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is.
There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus or Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, what we are is one. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Payson Burt, and I'm a member of your Board of Trustees, Vice President, and co-executive producer of the AV team. As you can see, I'm running the show today. And welcome. Glad you could be here today. I want to reiterate what Dr. Maxine said about last Easter or last week. It was so wonderful to see everybody, see people I haven't seen in over 2 years. It was uplifting, and the talk was wonderful. The string quartet was wonderful. It was all wonderful. So thank you, and such a wonderful talk today, Reverend Mike. Thank you very much. I'm looking at him over there now. Should be looking here. Hi. Yes, and welcome everyone. Yes, we are live streaming from the Inspiration Cafe here in Paoli, and we are thrilled you are tuning in today wherever you are in the world, all over the place too. Welcome to Bo and everyone else out of town. We're excited to announce that Dr. Maxine is offering a special 5-week Zoom class on the Art of Abundance starting Tuesday, May 10th. This short but powerful class leads the students through principles and practices that enhance the consciousness of true abundance, focusing on the 10 rules for a prosperous life. Based on Dr. Jones's book by the same name, this course helps the student release and transform limited patterns of belief and opens the portals of consciousness to expand into limitless abundance that awaits our recognition and acceptance. Expect dynamic exchanges and powerful changes in the interaction of the class experience as a safe, effective environment is established for easy and joyful growth. This is a love offering class, and we'd like you to register by Thursday, May 5th. Just go to our events calendar for May 10th and click on the registration link. That's www.csl.philly.org. Notice I did that without looking, but my hands are full, so I can't put it on the screen. So www.cslphilly.org. If you are watching us today and enjoy our Sunday celebrations and love notes on our Facebook and YouTube channel, please be sure to like, to subscribe, and to share with others. When you subscribe, you will receive notices when our Sunday celebration and our daily love notes are uploaded. I should have that memorized too, because we've been saying that for a while. Oh, and if you missed seeing our in-person Easter Sunday celebration, the wonderful thing we were talking about just a few minutes ago, it's archived. So just visit the website. You know it by now, right? www.cslphilly.org. Go to the events calendar. And that's it for today. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. And back to Dr. Maxine.
Okay. Thank you, Payson. Oh, what a we have a good time here at the Inspiration Cafe on Sunday mornings, and we trust that you do as well, because we are including everybody in a great, warm, divine embrace of love. Now we're going to have our closing song, which is wonderful. In fact, it's by the group Playing for Change, which is worldwide, and it is called, what else? What a Wonderful World.
Blessed days and the dark secret night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
Oh, yes.
We thank you, we bless you, and we give thanks for Spirit ever expressing the greater idea of love and life by means of each and every one of us. Let's go forth knowing that wherever we go, the Changeless goes with us. And so it is.